Let's begin the conversation. History is often shaped by those who survive it, but the truth remains contested. The family of the late head of state Sani Abacha has accused former military ruler Ibrahim Badamasi of distorting facts in his recent autobiography, A Journey in Service. In the book, Babangida claimed that Abacha and other military officers orchestrated the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election without his consent. However, in a statement signed by Mohammed Abacha, the family rejected Babangida's account, alleging that he was attempting to shift blame and rewrite history to suit his narrative. The Abacha family urged Nigerians to remain wary of revisionist accounts that manipulate public perception for personal or political gains. Bikio, I remember in 1993, I think I was in primary 3. But looking at this claim, some people claim that the former president, IBB, only made such statements because Abacha was dead. Why now?
Well, there are many people who do not take books written about the Nigerian Civil War seriously, because every account that you read, you are inclined to believe that the truth was a casualty, because people will write to suit their own people. They will write those things that will make their own people happy. People will sometimes write and give far more credit to themselves than they deserve. There is somebody who is guilty of that. I don't want to mention this.
Yeah, let's not mention names.
But people know who I'm talking about. If you did 10% of a job and you give yourself 100%, people will know that you lack any sense of modesty. But let's leave that person and focus on IBB. I was also one of those who didn't think
the long-anticipated memoir of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, a man who played a significant role in that.
To say, I don't know how that got on our show now. I was also one of those who didn't think that it made any sense to cast Abacha in the way that the book cast him. What we know about the military is that the commander-in-chief has executive powers, full executive powers, and that is what Mohammed Abacha is saying. As far as Mohammed Abacha is concerned, Abacha was neither the head of state nor the CNC at the time of the election. And he also argued that the final executive powers was solely the responsibility of IBB. And IBB was deliberately distorting facts through its revisionist narration meant to manipulate public perception for political reasons. Mohammed Abacha also said honesty, sincerity, and integrity are virtues not commonly associated with Babangida. I think this real hard tackle for somebody who was close to his dad, who worked closely with him, who planned coups with him. I think this was a really tough one to describe IBB in these words. And it's difficult to blame him because in that book, IBB was not kind to his father, because he also cast his father as somebody unstable and unpredictable. These were not things that the Abacha family found comfortable. And IBB also gave the feeling he tried to defend not retiring Abacha. For me, not retiring Sani Abacha, when you retired others, you retired the service chiefs, you retired senior people. but you left Sani Abacha, a man that people knew was after
the #1 job.
The #1 job. In fact, they had begun to call him Khalifa, meaning successor. So for somebody like that who was already politically exposed, or you could describe him as a politically exposed soldier, if you left him to give, as he said, stability to the interim national government, you created a situation that will make the interim national government to be stillborn, because he's going to kick Shonekon out of the way. And I'm saying something today that Shonekon's resignation speech, we only heard his voice. They didn't show his face. Somebody told me that a gun was put to his neck to read it, because he had just returned from a UN conference where he said the Nigeria's path to democracy was irreversible. How do you then, a few days later, begin to resign?
Change your mouth.
It was the first time that something in the frame of a presidential broadcast will be read, and you will not see a movie. You will not see any picture, just something blank. But the man resigned. So there are things that we didn't see with our eyes, but we can suspect that a lot of things happened. Yes. Shonekon himself left power against his wish, because Abacha badly wanted to achieve his aim of becoming president. And the person that you will blame for all that was the person who left him in office. Any other thing that you say after that, people will not want to believe. You know? Now some of them are calling IBB coward, that he didn't have the... Even one of Abacha's children called him a coward.
But another thing is, yes, I know the buck stops at the president, the head of state's table. But could have, the former president have done that kind of decision without carrying the likes of Abacha and the crew along in agreement?
Which decision?
The decision about annulment and all of it?
No, that's what DK is saying. Even in the book.
You tried to say that people like Abacha were the drivers of the annulment. You know, you understand that if he had left Abiola, they would have killed him. You know, those were the regrets that he expressed. But people will not believe, because they believe that the buck stops at your desk. You are the CNC, and military rulers are by nature powerful, because it's obey before complain that way.
That's true.
So if you took a decision not to allow the man take power, you have subverted the will of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people voted overwhelmingly. Okay, this is the person we wanted. And the voting cut across religious and ethnic divides.
Exactly.
But you didn't allow that person to exercise his mandate because you felt they will kill him. Many people will not buy that argument. No. Because Abacha and others like him cannot be bigger than the Nigerian state. But I also know that IBB was surrounded at a point by soldiers who said, no, power must not go to the south at this time, and it should not go to Abiola. So there are many things that happened, but I don't think it was fair to heap that much blame
on Abacha.
You know, because now the children are saying there was a time when his own life was in danger.
And it was their father that...
to 1990.
Yes, it was their father that saved him.
But talk to me, what's your assessment of this?
No, I think, just like BKO said, anybody that is writing a book would always have either praise himself or try to exonerate himself of either one crime or the other. The book has really, opened old wounds, because so many people, especially those who fought for democracy, are all thinking, is it this same man that almost killed us when we are, doing our work like journalists, like BK and so many others. Even I remember when Abacha even died, that we were jubilating. But when the book came out, we wanted to see something different, but eventually we are now seeing something like IBB trying to remove himself from the crime. He even said that in some part of the book, he was saying that it had nothing to do with the annulment, that he was even going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, Ndukai Rabo, read his speech. And thankfully, because now we are talking about book, and somebody has even brought account of what happened. Ndukai Rabo is even alive. And we are hoping that at some point he will also write a book to know what really happened that particular day.
Do you think maybe the Abacha family should also write a book? All the players.
No, the thing is,
so that we can actually
do you know that even in that 1993, some players, some people who played a major role ended up benefiting from this same democracy. And those ones have not even thought about writing any book. Their own is let them just enjoy this same democracy.
What they did not fight for.
Because they didn't fight for it, But for the mere fact that the Abacha family have come out to come and say, no, you shouldn't have even said it is only my father. You are heaping the entire blame of 1990 on my father.
Instead of taking responsibility.
Because the CNC is Alpha and Omega when it comes to the government. Yes, he might have said, okay, I take responsibility, but not for you to push the blame on one person. If you are writing a book, say that, okay, everything happened, I know about it, I was the commander-in-chief, and then
I apologize.
Apologize and leave, because even in that book, I'm not sure there's anywhere there is apology there.
To Nigerians. Who
lost their lives.
Who lost their lives, whose whose desires were subverted.
Yeah.
It was a subversion of the will of the Nigerian people. There's no way you can describe what.
So the book did not do justice to closure.
No. It created more problems.
It created more.
Because if you look at it, even during that time, there are so many journalists whose life has never been the same because of what happened.
Some died.
Some had mental problems.
Yeah, mental problem.
Some were jailed for nothing.
Yes.
Only Ajibade was jailed. For a story that I anchored.
Oh, really?
Yes. My was the editor. It was my editor, and they were looking for me. They couldn't find me. Came to my office in Kano. And as I walked in, I saw two individuals, because we were print journalists.
Okay.
They didn't
know
they
who.
didn't recognize. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were asking the girl, Shine Onako. So the girl was my secretary, Abashibane. I just walked into the inner room and melted into Yankura Market. From Yankura Market, I went to Jos Street. That was their last chance to catch me.
Oh, dear.
Yes. The people that they arrested, they were looking for information. The information that they would have liked to take was from me.
I guess you also need to write a book. Maybe your own account.
My book is on the way.
Your own account of your June time experience.
And that would be a bestseller. You understand?
Exactly.
We lost some of our friends. But that Kalto today.
Yeah.
He died because of this June 12 wahala.
Oh, dear.
All right, then.
All right, gentlemen. Let's move straight to our next conversation.